line stepper in the building.
That's how we do it.
Habitual line stepper in the building. Coming out the gates hot. We're coming in hot, gentlemen. America, we are coming in hot.
Yes, we are.
Welcome to another edition of Talking Sports with the 12th Man. Wednesday, right? You guys having a good day so far?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Want to just give a quick shout out to, obviously.
Busy, but good.
Yeah, it's good. Rob's globetrotting over here. But it's all good.
Where are you at now? You're in Seattle?
He's in Seattle.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Rainy and cold.
Is it colder? Yeah. Rainy and cold, you said? Wow.
Mm-hmm. Which is usual for Seattle this time of year.
It's like 80 degrees here in Atlanta. Nice and, good day.
Beautiful here in the summertime.
It's almost 90 today here.
Woo! We want to just give a quick pause. Obviously, our co-host, he lost his beloved best friend, his dog JQ. Man, that one hurts, man. So prayers to the family. I've been there, man. Pets are like family for sure, and it kind of messes you up, especially if you have kids. So that's just that's a tough one to deal with, man. So JQ, we hope that you're doing well, man. Because again, pets are family, and whenever that happens, it doesn't hit you quite the same. Especially, I had mine was like 15 years in, man. So that was a hurtful situation too. So I know what he's going through, man. So JQ, hope that you're okay, you and the fam, as always. But how you guys feeling around the horn, Mr. Rob Ford? How you feeling, sir?
Man, doing great, man. Had some asparagus for my brunch this morning, and so it got your day off to a good start, which is extremely important. Had that green juice with some spinach too. So, man, feeling great, man. Feeling like Popeye.
Oh, my gosh.
Feeling like Popeye, huh? All right.
Gary, can you save us from this nonsense, man? I don't even know what's happening, man. Come on.
Hey, we're in the middle of construction and all kinds of crap going on in our house. So we're
okay.
Yeah.
Gary said it best. He's working harder now than he did when he was working.
Man, I gotta get myself a job. Rob, you gotta hire me on, man. I gotta
get a job so you don't have to
get out of here, man. You take anything, I'll shine your shoes up. Take out the trash in your office, whatever you need me to do, man. Please save me.
Please let me get a job so I don't have to do any work.
No, you know what? I'm loving retirement.
We know you are. We're just teasing you.
Although, you know what? It's sometimes you get so busy, you wonder how in the hell you ever did all this stuff while you were working. So it's amazing how I think a lot of times you just put it off or you hired it out or did whatever. But, it's fun. We're loving it.
Yeah, man. I had a thought, but I lost. Good evening, Richard. To you, welcome as well. But I was going to say, even same thing whenever, I'm self-employed, whenever you have your own business, you're busier now than it is whenever you had a job. So there's always something to occupy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is how it
running your own business is a
24/7 thing. It's always got to be on your mind.
There's always things to do, man. So, but you're blessed and happy on the fun stuff too. Let's get this party started. We got a lot of things to talk about, everyone. For those that are new to the show, you know the drill, how to follow us. Follow us on a couple of different places. You can follow us on Twitter or X. The way to follow us is at the number 12, THMAN Sports. We are on Facebook where we're posting live, where Richard is making his comments and all that fun stuff. Hopefully we get some more, interaction from Duke and Jill and all that fun stuff. And as the Cross says, we are also on YouTube, which is streaming live as well, which is another 12th Man Sports. I'm going to post something later to my Falcon fans because we're going a little crazy here. We're thinking that we're making terrible moves, and you have to talk some sense into people about life, liberty, and all that fun stuff about how to build a team, right? So again, we'll talk about that. But Rob, I think we had a shock yesterday whenever we found out about the trade with the Ravens, and I want to preface this really quickly as we go around the horn. The great Ozzie Newsome, who was the first African-American GM, believe it or not, in 2002. He has stepped down, and Eric DaCosta is his understudy. And I was looking through the history of the Ravens. They've never pulled off a move like this, like trading 2 first-rounders. So again, not that it's a situation. I just think it's unique because under Ozzie Newsome, he was very creative. he made very strategic moves. And this dude picks Hall of Famers, right? His very first draft, he picks Jonathan Ogden at number 4, comes back in and picks Ray Lewis at 26. So that was his very first draft in 1996.
2 Hall of Famers.
2 Hall of Famers. He
Yep.
drafted Ed Reed, Lamar Jackson. They were very strategic. So I'm going to set the stage because this is the first time I think when I was looking up history that they've traded like 2 first-round draft picks, right? So this is a little out of character for them. One thing I do want to also point out, I didn't know this, there's only been like 4 coaches in their history. Ted Marchibroda, Brian Billick, and John Harbaugh, and then obviously the new Jesse Mentor, which is higher, but they're just like Steelers. They have been around that long. They've only had like 4 coaches in their entire history. So you talk about just the history of success, but this is a little out of character, right, I would say, because normally they don't normally pull a trade like this. So it does kind of seem interesting that it kind of backfired, if you will, because, obviously I'll let you talk, Rob. I'm just kind of setting the stage here. Maybe the medicals weren't right with Maxx Crosby, but this has, I think, set off a domino effect for things moving forward. This is going to set a lot of things moving forward. There's been players that haven't signed and kind of backed out of things because of physicals. Frank Gore's like, I'm going to the Eagles. Nope, I'm going to the Colts. But I remember Frank Gore did like the little 2-step whenever he was supposed to sign with the Eagles and sign with the Colts. But that was not to the effect as this, right? So you talk about salary caps, things already in motion, and then you have to kind of reverse things. And this is tough, right? So, yeah, we know that he funked his physical, but you would think the Ravens would have done a better in-depth job about this, because he was at the hotel taking pictures in Baltimore, and then it's like, sorry, we're going to back out of that. So this is epic. I think it's going to change, maybe not immediately, but I think it's going to change how the future and trades are going to be, I think, moving forward, Rob. So that's just kind of my thoughts, if you will.
Yeah, and NFL executives around the league are really not happy with the Ravens in this situation, right? And typically, a handshake agreement is a handshake agreement, right? But all of these trades and free agent signings, they all have some fine print, and it all says pending player physical, right?
Yeah.
So obviously the Ravens saw something that they didn't like from a medical standpoint, or did they? Did they say, hey, we can sign Trey Hendrickson and not have to trade 2 first-round picks? Which would wind up happening, right?
Wow.
Now they claim their plan was to get Hendrickson and Maxx Crosby to have one of the most dynamic pass rushing duos in the league, right? This seems a little fishy. I know we saw this with the Lakers and Mark Williams with that trade, where the Lakers, failed Mark Williams' physical and sent them back to Charlotte. We don't see this that often in sports, right? We probably seen more free agents change their mind at the last minute than we have an organization back out of a trade in sports. But these are the only 2 that kind of really come to mind. The Ravens could have very well. Obviously, he just had surgery 2 months ago, so he's not going to be quite, physically healthy, right?
Right.
I'll tell you a different story. When the Saints signed Drew Brees off of that shoulder surgery, he failed the physical, but the Saints still believed in Drew and moved forward with the trade. And
I think that happens more than we know.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So this one seems a little fishy to me because they signed Trey Hendrickson like the next day, and they was like, "Hey, we can sign Trey, who might can give us almost the same kind of production, and not have to trade 2 first-round picks for him."
Well, and one of the physicians that was there, in that whole Maxx Crosby thing. I don't know why they would have the Dallas Cowboys physician there when they're going against the Cowboys for him. They were the 2 front runners for that. The 2 big offers were from, Detroit, or from the Ravens and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I thought that was just
a little fishy.
A little fishy there. And now the Cowboys tonight are moving bodies around and trading
Traded to the
people
49ers.
and
Yeah, a lot of trades
sort of
happening.
thing to make room. I don't know what's going on there.
We'll talk, Richard, about Tua and other things too. By the way, Richard, stay tuned. We're going to talk about all that. But it's a little, like you said, Rob. There's some things that just don't add up, man. There, just as far as what's happening. You get Trey Hendrickson. You're going to say, I'm saying that, yeah, this is a situation. But like we talked about, just you had all these pictures, like he was there. Now you got to kind of reverse that. It's like, hey, guess what? I guess you're going back. But that's what we're talking about. What's next, if you will, for Maxx Crosby. Because if you're a Cowboys, fan, Gary, like you wanted that. You're like, hey, Maxx Crosby. I mean, do you still think, he's still an option, or do you think he's damaged goods? There's a lot of red flags there. Or do you think he's heel, or what's going on with that?
I don't want to see him. There's edge rushers in the draft that they can get that are going to be. I don't know if they're going to be. No one knows if they're going to be at that level. But
Absolutely.
there are players that they can get at 12 and 20 to fill in.
Yeah.
I say roll the dice with the draft and save your draft capital and not worry about Crosby. I think probably the front runner of this Crosby deal might be maybe Chicago.
I think Chicago. I wouldn't rule out the Cowboys either. I tell you, two sleepers in this thing could be the Tennessee Titans and the Cincinnati Bengals. And I think they're two sleepers. I think those are the four teams that if a move is made, you're talking Bears, Cowboys, Titans, and obviously the Titans will love to pair another edge rusher. Jeffrey Simmons might be the best defensive tackle in the game. They can pair an edge rusher with him, and Robert Salas might have something there, right? But the Titans might be in a position to get a guy at number 4 too.
Yeah.
What about New England, Rob?
New England needs some help too, from that standpoint. So they're another team to watch. I don't think the Raiders are going to get 2 first-round picks. They might get a first and another pick or so, but I don't think they're going to wind up getting 2 first-round picks like the Ravens were offering. That's just.
And I don't think they're going to get like the Cowboys were offering them first and second, and a player. They say, defensive tackle, whatever. But I think that deal would be off the table anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not even putting the Cowboys in those teams. I've got New England, Chicago, maybe the Jags.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, like you said, the price has definitely, dropped, right? Before it's kind of like that stock that was going down.
Yesterday's price?
It was not today's price.
Not today's price.
So you kind of saw what's happening. You kind of, I mean, I don't, Maxx, he's going to be good. He's going to be all right. But it's just a situation where, the Ravens.
And I also think that Trey Hendrick's price would have dropped.
Yeah.
Had the Ravens not pulled this.
Yeah. 4 years, $112 million is what Trey Hendrickson signed for. I'm sorry, JQ's not on the call, and I know I could beat him up, but man, he is salivating at the opportunity to play the Bengals. Like, I think it was funny. I think Jamar Chase is like, is this April Fool's? He's going to terrorize the Bengals, man. He's going to make them pay every time he plays the Bengals, man. But
you don't want something like that in your backyard.
You're like, oh, that was not good.
You just really don't.
But we'll see how that plays out, if you will, too. But we've got some teams as far as that. We'll keep monitoring the situation. Rob, I just think that moving forward, a lot of dominoes fell because of this situation. As far as some people had some cap space kind of allotted for certain things, and because they had to reallot moves, I think it's definitely gonna impact. There's gonna be something that's gonna happen, I think, in the future, as far as we do have the pending, maybe it's like a 24-hour, 15-hour situation where you can't make another move or something like that, because this was even for the teams that wanted, Maxx Crosby too. That's something that's kind of protecting everybody, I think, involved. That's what I would suggest. But anyway, let's talk about also the Colts. They re-signed Daniel Jones. They scrapped the transition tag and gave him a 2-year, $88 million deal, up to $100 million with incentives. Obviously he tore his ACL in December, but the Colts were all in. And you talk about another success story where, with the Giants, he was kind of languishing, and then he goes to the Colts and just has a career year, career high 68% completion rate. Obviously, beat out Anthony Richardson, who's now seeking a trade. He says that he'll be ready by the start of the year, man. So again, the Colts have rewarded him. I think it's a good move, obviously.
Anything is possible with Jason Tatum coming back in 10 months from Achilles injuries, right? And to me, that's a tougher injury to come back from than a torn ACL. I've never seen somebody come back in 10 months. I don't know what kind of medicine Jason Tatum is taking, but
yeah,
that's insane.
Ray Lewis, the deer medicine stuff, man.
Yeah. And Daniel Jones, that was about November or December he got hurt, right?
December. Yeah, it was in December.
Yeah. Man, that's tough to come back from Achilles that soon.
Yeah.
I can't
He's younger.
see him
He's younger.
Yeah.
A 2-year, $88 million contract. That's great but that just doesn't seem like they're really willing to invest in him really long term.
Well, they're giving him $44 million a year. All right?
$44 million a year. That's great. But you know what I'm saying?
Which is a lot of money for, obviously the quarterback position. They're going to get paid. There's no doubt about it. But I agree with you. They still want to see more. They still want to see how he's going to recover from this injury before they give him a 4 or 5 year deal, right?
Yeah.
And look, we talk about this all the time about some of these young quarterbacks, how they hit their stride in year 4 and year 5. Daniel Jones was probably on his way to his best NFL season last season, right?
Absolutely.
But they still got Anthony Richardson on that roster,
a
guy who might hit his stride in year 4 or 5, right? With all of the talent that he has. And so if you're the coach, you got to monitor that. I think the coach might be listening to trade offers to Anthony Richardson. And there were some rumors that McVay may be interested in having him sit behind, Matthew Stafford for a year or two.
Yeah. Wow.
Maybe have it ready.
We talked about who was going to sit behind Stafford, and I thought Murray would be, but that would be fantastic.
Yeah. Well, looked like Murray's going to Minnesota. He's visiting him tomorrow, so he's going to have an opportunity to start this season.
Yeah, he's not going to be that mobile, Richard, because we're thinking that he has to, like Rob talked about, it's going to take a good year at least to to feel confident with that torn ACL. I don't know if it was a complete tear, partial tear. I know he's only 28 years old, so he's a little younger. I know that's what Kirk Cousins had, and so we were like, oh my God, here we go. But I think the situation is that he definitely has a little more time to get healed, if you will. And as Rob mentioned, I think that is very interesting as far as what's going to happen with Anthony Richardson. They still got Riley Leonard on the roster. You make a trade, if that's the case, it'd be a good look for Richardson because he definitely needs to sit. He's not ready. He's definitely a project, I would say. So maybe a change of scenery is a good thing for him. He's still young enough. And like we talked about throughout this whole situation last year, the year before, quarterbacks hit their maturity levels at different points, So the Baker Mayfields, the Sam Darnolds, hell, Geno Smith is going back to the Jets. That is
Can't believe that,
man. Just how that's happening. So just you never know.
They're betting on Geno Smith over Kyler Murray over Kirk Cousins.
I mean, and Tyrod Taylor.
I wouldn't be putting money on that.
It's just,
would you, Rob? Who would you, if you were there? Who would you rather have? Would you rather have Cousins, Murray, or Geno Smith?
Oh, I think Murray is the guy, right? Probably the best available. It's not a great free agent or draft class, but to me, Murray is the one that's put up when he's healthy, to me, he's put up the best numbers.
Yeah. Pavia's going to get invited, I think, to somewhere. I think he's got the intangibles, Richard, but I don't know about the hype, man.
I think he's going to be undrafted.
He's definitely going to be undrafted. I agree with that. The situation is, again, the Georgia fans always talk about Stetson Bennett. Like, what the hell? Come on, guys. Stetson ain't doing nothing. I think Jimmy Garoppolo.
Georgia fans need to get over that.
Is Jimmy Garoppolo his backup right now? I got to look that up to see if he's the backup for Stafford, if you will. But that's kind of what you're looking at. But Pavi's gonna get a shot, man. He's gonna make plays, but again, but it's just I don't know. We'll see about that. Rob, it's now time to do the mock draft, if you will, and then we'll talk about some top QBs in the draft. I'm sure there's only a handful of obviously drafts, and then we'll talk about.
Before you get to 12, we want an edge rusher, okay? Just saying, Rob.
Well, you just traded for Rashawn Gary. You forgot. You got an edge rusher. We
need another edge rusher, Rob.
He's like, just to let you know, Rob, edge rusher.
You just traded for one.
And he's decent. He's probably the best right now on the team.
Yeah. Yep. And so obviously, no change in number 1. Still got Mendoza there. Ruben Bain Jr., I have him at number 2. I know we talked about this. There's a lot of talk about his short arms, but man, when you turn on the tape, this dude had 80 pressures last season. That's not a misprint. 80 pressures. And he had 12 sacks. And he was dominant against elite competition in the college football playoff, too. So I think a lot of people are over scouting, if you will, when it comes to the short arms. This guy's a baller. I can still see him going as high as number 2. I don't see him going no lower than number 10, but I still have him at number 2. I got Arvell Reese, linebacker / edge rusher from Ohio State, number 3 to Arizona. David Bailey is another guy I like, man, 6'4", about 255 pounds. His guy graduated from Stanford in 3 years, so he's a cerebral dude. He's a smart dude. Transferred to Texas Tech to play his last year. Had a great year at Texas Tech, led them to the playoffs. I have him at number 4 to Tennessee to pair with Jeffrey Simmons. Jeremiah Love, right? You saw, on the show, I think I mentioned this on last week or the week before. I said, watch the Saints and the Chiefs for Travis Etienne and Kenneth Walker. And guess what? They both signed those 2 running backs. So what's it? They both obviously think Jeremiah Love's going to go high. Wow. I got him going number 5 to the Giants. You pair him with Cam Scatterboo, and you got yourself a nice 1-2 punch. Cam could be the short yardage guy, and Love is the dual threat, catching the ball out of the backfield and the home run hitter. So I have Love going number 5. I think Love's going to either go 5, 6, or 7. I think he's going to go to either Giants, Cleveland, or Washington. That's my opinion right now. You got Cleveland. I got him going Sonny Styles, who's phenomenal at the combine, phenomenal in the interviews. Linebacker, tremendous size, tremendous athlete. I have him going to Cleveland, staying there in the state of Ohio. I got Washington going Francis McGowan, offensive tackle from Miami. Give some more insurance to Jaden Daniels. I got the Saints going with Cornell Tate, wide receiver from Ohio State, the best hands from a wide receiver, best route runner in the draft. He ran a 4.54 40. Obviously, that's a little concerning, but best pure receiver in the draft. He's obviously already saying he's like to play with Tyler Shutt. The Saints have been working out a lot of receivers, first-round prospects and second-round prospects. I got Caleb Downs going to Kansas City at 9. And I got Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle from Georgia, who's really climbing draft boards right now. I have him going number 10 to Cincinnati as they need to protect Joe Burrow. I got the Cowboys taking Spencer Fano, offensive tackle from Utah, at number 12. He's a mauler in the run game and in the pass game. Tremendous offensive lineman. Big dude from Utah. Unfortunately, Gary, there's no edge rushers right there at that number 12 spot. David Bailey's gone. Arvell Reese is gone. Ruben Bain Jr. is gone. And that's why they made the trade for Rashawn Gary and maybe still in play for Maxx Crosby there. At number 20, I got the Cowboys. They just traded a defensive tackle to the 49ers. I got him taking Caleb Banks at 20. You pair him with Quinnen Williams in that group, and you got yourself a heck of a defensive line there, even with Rashawn Gary. Nobody's going to be able to run the ball if they were able to get Caleb Banks. Look at my Pelicans. Beat the Raptors. Second round, I got my Saints taking Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker from Texas. He's kind of like a edge rusher / linebacker too. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with Cam Jordan. So we got him going to the Saints at 42. And then the Falcons, I'm taking Chris Bell, wide receiver from Louisville. I tell you, there are a lot of teams that like Chris Bell, including my Saints. They brought him into the facility. He's got good size, good hands, good speed. He's coming off of an injury, but he's a cerebral player, and a lot of teams, really like him as well. And then moving on to the third round, I got the Saints taking Dominique Orange, defensive tackle from Iowa
I like
State.
him. I like that. Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Yeah. He's a big guy too, right? 6'5",
Yep.
something like that.
And then I got the Falcons taking Maxx, tight end from Ohio State. Andre's been asking for that 2 tight end offense.
You know what?
There you have it. And then the fourth round, let's see. Got the Cowboys taking Jeff Caldwell, wide receiver from Cincinnati, to add some depth there. Let's see. I got the Falcons taking Bo Stevens, interior offensive lineman from Iowa. Obviously, you're always going to have a good lineman or 3 coming out of Iowa. The Saints got 2 fourth-round picks. I got us taking Anthony Lucas, edge rusher from USC, and Justin Jolly, tight end out of NC State. I'll show Richard some love, too. He probably wants to know where I have the Steelers going.
Uh-oh.
And in the Steelers, in the first round, I got him going Peter Woods, talented defensive tackle out of Clemson. His production was a little down last year. Clemson underachieved tremendously, but he might be one of the more talented defensive tackles in the draft. You get the right coaching situation with them, and he's a straight up beast athletically. Jennings Dunker, offensive tackle from Iowa in the second round to the Steelers, and his footwork is tremendous. His technique is really good. Not the best athlete, but his technique and footwork is extremely good. So I got the Steelers going offensive line there in the second round. Let's see who I have. I think I got him still going to quarterback in the third round.
Wow. Okay.
No. I'm sorry. I got him taking Ted Hurst, wide receiver from Georgia State.
That's a good pickup.
Who's a burner. Steelers have 2 third-round picks, and I haven't taken Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback from LSU, in the third round as well. And Garrett is a guy that prior to the season was considered a top 10 pick. That oblique injury really kind of messed him up this year. He was the MVP of the Senior Bowl. Scouts were really impressed with him at the Senior Bowl as far as running the ball and throwing the ball at the Senior Bowl. So I think he's a sleeper. I don't think he's going to be a starter in the NFL in the first year, but I think he's a sleeper that can grow into a starter down the road. So there you have it.
What you think, Gary? You like it?
I don't like this one as much, but that's fine. I'd like to. I want Sonny Styles to slide down there to 12.
You better start putting some type of reports out there.
You got two first round picks. You can trade up to get them.
There you go.
Sonny Styles is not a pure pass rusher either. So if you're looking for an edge, Sonny is probably more of a linebacker. He gets situationally rush the passer though.
Well, I think he would fit into their new 3-4 scheme.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Steeler fan, like your pick. There you go. Richard likes your picks, Rob. Hey, we're going to talk about some top QBs in the draft and some free agency updates. And Richard, I'll answer your question about Tua. Rob, I really, really hope I'm liking what the Falcons are doing so far in free agency. I really hope that in the word of the trade that we're going to trade down and accumulate some more picks. Chris Bell, like Chris Bergier from Tennessee, the wide receiver. I like. We have a lot of good linebackers. I like to get a corner in there. I would love to get a defensive tackle. And then, obviously would love to get some interior linemen. I know we were looking hard at Slaughter. I think he's from Florida.
Yep.
I think it's Jake Slaughter. And then I like Isaiah World as well. Big guy from
Oregon.
I think he's from Oregon, yeah. And then I think we're going to get a quarterback too. I think we're going to draft a quarterback later on for development purposes too. So I'm keeping an eye on Drew Lar because I think he's like a Joe Flacco clone. But that's just me. But I think somehow don't get Cole from North Dakota State. Don't get another left-hander. I'm joking. But I'm curious
Hey,
as far
it's
as
easier for the coaches, man. If
yeah,
they all are
yeah,
left-handed.
yeah. I know.
And it's
We're making
easier for
jokes.
the offensive lineman and the team too.
We're making jokes, man, but that could be the situation. But on a serious note, we'll talk about free agency. But Rob, I'll let you kind of talk about the top quarterbacks. But I'm just saying, in my world, I'm liking how we're kind of building some situations here. We're getting a veteran. We're going to get some depth. We're going to get depth in the draft too. I'm liking what we're doing too. But talk about some top QBs in the draft. I'm sure there's only a handful for sure, if you will.
Yeah, you mentioned Chris Brazil. I got him going like a few picks after Chris Bell. I have him going 51
like him.
in Carolina.
That's what I'd like to have, man. I like for him. Yeah.
He's a burner too. So
6'5", 4 foot. Man, that's
and he can run. He's got size and he can run for sure. Yeah. But as far as obviously Fernando Mendoza is number 1 and Ty Simpson is 2. I have Garrett Nussmeier as the 3rd quarterback in the draft. I have Drew Allar, Penn State 4, and I have Carson Beck 5. Okay. So those are my top 5. I moved Cole Payton down to number 6 from South Dakota State. But I tell you, a guy to watch is Green from Arkansas. I think he's going to get drafted. At first, I thought he was more of an undrafted guy, but I think he could be a 4th or 5th round pick. I think teams like his arm talent and like his speed. He's not very accurate, but I keep saying this. I don't know why teams. You look at Jalen Milroe in Seattle. Why teams don't utilize what the Saints have done over the years with Taysom Hill. I think Green from Arkansas could do that.
Player has to want it too.
Jalen Milroe from Alabama.
Yeah. I think the player has to want to do that too, right? Because he's saying I want to be a quarterback, so that's another situation. Yeah. Unless you're like,
but hey, if you want to get on the field, Green is not going to be a starting quarterback in year 1, maybe not even year 2 or year 3.
So you got Green, you got him going in the 4th round.
I think I have him going in the 4th round right now.
Where do you have Beck going then?
In the 4th as well.
In the 4th as well. I don't think you'll go that high.
Who?
Beck.
Well, I think you gotta realize at one point Beck was considered number 1 pick in the draft, right? And so obviously there are going to be some talent evaluators that just feels like the right situation and the right coaching could get him there. So, we'll see.
Okay, so we know the teams in the league. Give me 2 teams that you think that could work for. 2 teams that he could be an understudy and end up being that next starting quarterback, maybe.
Who is that?
Beck.
But you never count out Sean McVay and your boy in San Francisco.
I like Carson Beck.
They seem to get the best out of their quarterbacks. Mm-hmm.
Beck's got talent, believe it or not. I mean, he's not like everyone craps on him. They said he did very well in the interviews, Gary. He a lot of his teammates love him, which is, obviously that says a lot for intangibles.
I got to give him credit.
He made one mistake. He made that one mistake that wasn't
really
Sean
Payton too. He could be a good backup there too. Actually, I have Denver taking him in the 4th round right now, and I have Taylor Green.
He's got talent.
I got San Francisco taking Taylor Green.
Yeah,
those are 2 organizations that could absolutely do that.
After Trey Lance, I don't know if they're ready to go down that path, Rob. Taylor Green, the 49ers, I don't know.
Here's the difference. Trey Lance was number 3 overall.
That's fair. I'll give you that one.
Taylor Green, I got him going to the 4th round. So
they were comparing Taylor. They were comparing Taylor and Anthony Richardson, just the athleticism, because Richardson was blew the doors off, but Taylor was way better than Richardson. That's what you're kind of nervous about, right? Tall, athletic, dual threat quarterback.
Yeah.
But
once again, you're talking about taking a 4th round investment versus a top 5 pick investment.
That's fair. That's
fair.
A
big difference.
That's fair. Understood. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I mean, he's not quite ready, obviously, from that perspective. And like you said, if there's back in the day, I know Richard's going to love this. Remember, Cordell Stewart was that slash. Slash was an incredible. That was something new. Oh my God, he can throw, run, pass, catch. There's no one like that anymore, obviously. Yep. So that's a unique situation, I would say.
Cordell Stewart from New Orleans.
There you go. So we talked about the top QB. Let's talk about some free agency, guys. Some updates. And Gary, I'll let you kind of lead as far as your thoughts, as far as some key moves and whatnot. You can talk about your team, how you feel, and just any I don't know if there's any surprises, but we'll talk about how the free agency landscape has kind of changed coming into, and I think I called it with Kyler Murray going to the Vikings, if you will. But we'll talk about some surprises with Tua and all that fun stuff too as well. And I just got to note, guys, that it looks like the Raiders are looking at Kirk Cousins. That's pretty interesting to me. But yeah.
Well, with the, I'm always looking. What did I want my team to do? I wanted my team to go defense. So they got, Jalen Thompson from Arizona, safety, 3-year, $36 million. I like that move.
Nice.
Gary, the edge rusher from Green Bay. They some of the critics on there said that a 4th round was an overreach for him.
I don't think so.
I didn't think so either.
I think it's good value, and it's a 4th rounder next year. I thought it was a 4th rounder this year, but it's actually next year.
Yeah. And I thought that I didn't think it was a stretch, but all of our teams have all of these other players that have been with the organization that you're also trying to sign. You have your franchise players, and you have your 2nd round tender players, and then what is this executive free agent? What is that, Rob?
Exclusive rights free agent?
Exclusive rights.
Yeah.
So they can only sign with your team? Is that
typically that's like an undrafted free agent that's maybe
you get preferential treatment.
Yeah,
they try to
perform better than expected, and after a couple of years, if they become a free agent, you're the only team. You have the exclusive rights to them, or you could put a tender on them as well.
Yeah, I basically didn't understand what that was. I was trying to figure that whole thing out, trying to figure out what the difference was. But I like what the Cowboys have done so far. I'm glad they didn't throw out both of the 1st round picks for Crosby. I know they wanted to, go for Trey Hendrickson. They lost out on that, but they still have their first round picks, 2 of them. As long as they do something good in that, and
they got a chance to get 2 impact players.
Yeah, they did, and they signed some players that did well for them. Sam Williams, a couple of others that I thought were. I'm glad they re-signed them. So, with that said, who on your teams that you have on your rosters? Who are those guys that you're wanting to keep on your offense or defense that are out there for the pickings?
That's free agents?
Yeah. On the New Orleans Saints and on the Falcons.
Offensively, I can't think of anyone from a free agent standpoint. But defensively, I would have loved for the Saints to have kept Alontae Taylor. Obviously, he signed with Tennessee.
Yeah.
Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh's making some moves, man.
Yeah.
Players, man. Keep going. I'm sorry.
But I know that Tennessee signed him for like 3 years, $60 million. He's got $20 million a year. Alontae is not a lockdown cover corner, but he's just a good football player. And he comes up in the run game, makes tackles from the corner position. He's a really good blitzer. He can cover in the slot and on the outside. So he's just a versatile football player. So, overall, I think the Saints have done well in free agency, but that's probably the one player that I think that got away that I would have loved for us to keep. And, Cam Jordan, even at his age, had 10.5 sacks last season.
Yeah.
He's still out there. And I don't want the Saints to mortgage the future with him, but if they can find a way to work out a 1-year deal and bring him back, I think at the end of the year, second half of the season, those 3 edge rusher rotation the Saints have between Chase Young and Carl Granderson and Cam Jordan, it was almost unblockable. And I'd be willing to see if we can get squeeze out another year out of Cam.
Yeah,
he's
10.5 sacks is that's a good season. Mm-hmm. That's a productive season. and he's long in the tooth.
Yeah. For me, I still like David Njoku. I don't know if we want to pay big for him, the tight end from Cleveland. I like him. I'd like to get another cornerback to be, kind of
He
stabilized.
actually, who on your current team you would like to keep, or
On my
would have
current
liked to keep?
I thought we were talking about free agents. I thought we were talking about free agents.
Yeah.
You're talking about both, or you're talking about who you'd like to keep? I mean,
Both.
I would have loved to keep. I would
Well,
love to keep.
we can get to the other free, but he asked the question of who on your current team you would have liked to keep or would like to still keep.
I would have liked to keep Caden Ellis, man. I'm so upset about that one. That one hurt because he goes back to the Saints, and he went about the Saints, man. But no offense, Rob, but that's good that he got.
You want to come back home?
I wanted. I'm happy for him for that. That one hurts. Tyler Algier, I mean, everyone's upset about that, but he wanted to be a starter. He's not going to be a starter here in Atlanta with Bijan Robinson, so he did not like the role of being the RB number 2. So that one kind of hurt. Everyone's like crucifying the Falcons. I'm like, it takes 2 to tango, right? He has to want to be here. He didn't want to take a back seat, and he probably looked at Arizona's like, hey, I can beat out James Conner. I should be the number 1 running back there. It's a new situation, so that's kind of one that kind of hurt. Everyone else is.
But Bijan is also, one of the top backs.
Yeah, I mean, but he's not.
He had no chance. No chance.
Yeah, but it's just one of those. You're like, oh man, So that was a tough one to see too. But everyone else, like, those are kind of the main ones I'm thinking that I would love to kind of have back. But everyone else, Zane Gonzalez did a good job. I know we got Nick Folk. He's 41 and he's experienced, so that's okay. But other than that, there's not really anyone else that's like I'm like, oh my god, besides.
And for us, our Osa just tonight got traded, of course, to the 49ers for a 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
And defensive tackle. And I didn't want to see him go.
Yeah. I mean, I know I kind of went off the rail with that too, but I guess that's what I was thinking as far as some players and kind of what I kind of like what they're doing, and to address the Tua situation, everyone's like just crucifying this move, and I'm like, there's a movie called Moneyball, and it was a great scene because there's an older David Justice that plays for the Oakland A's, and they're like, Billy Beane was talking to David Justice like, they're paying you the Yankees paying you $54 million not to play for them, and he's like, be something for this team, be an inspiration and kind of, he's like, okay, so that was interesting how he, he's just kind of hanging on, and Billy Beane had to talk with him about that. So I think about that with Tua, Miami's paying $99 million not to be there, right? But you're getting him for $1.3 million. It's a win-win for both sides. It's a 1-year deal. Prove that you can come in, and he's going to want to do well because he's going to get his next contract. And if he plays well, Falcons have another problem. But I still think they need somebody to hold the spot, let Penix heal up. That's why I think they're going to draft a
quarterback. That's a good problem to have with this stage of Penix's career.
100%. Penix is talented, man. But we don't know.
He's early into his, rookie contract.
Yeah.
So you bring in a guy like that. That's a super shrewd move.
He's got 75 career starts. I mean, why not have somebody that has experience like that? And he's 28 years old. So again, it's not like he's playing Call of Duty now. Kyler Murray and Tua. Who else is like everyone? Who else is out there? You want somebody old? Like I like Flacco too. I don't mind Flacco either, but Flacco has to want to come too. They've probably put feelers out there like, hey, do you want to come to the Falcons? And he probably
I take the young guy.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I agree. I mean, but Flacco, like he's professional, so you're not asking him. He's not going to put up a threat. And, I'm going to start like Kirk. So I think it was a good. That's who I was leaning towards, but. I don't hate Tua. Like I said, I'm just like everyone's like acting.
Oh, so you had Flacco. In your mind, you had.
I would have like I didn't mind Flacco. I don't mind Tua either. Like I said, because
so did you have Flacco ahead of Tua in your?
I did because the fact that he just has a little bit more experience in Kevin Stefanski's system. But like I said, you're putting feelers out to the team, to players. I know legal tampering, right? As long as you're not Kirk Cousins, open up your big mouth. But they're kind of putting feelers out there like, hey, what do you feel? Do you want to – and he probably declined it. It was like, hey, it'd be cool, but let me see. And they probably went full press to Tua. And that's as much as Robert wants to talk about the Falcons. But, again, like I said, that's my thoughts behind it as far as, everyone thinks who else is out there? Who else is out there? Someone said to me Blake Bortles. I'm like, Blake Bortles? Where's Blake Bortles at, man?
He's got to be retired, right?
And then somebody's like Stetson Bennett's like no one's. Yeah, this is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm hearing. I'm like, what? Like what? That's where we're going. That's where we're going.
Come on, Rob, give us that information. Who does he play for then?
Blake Bortles can't be in the league anymore.
USFL what?
But it's funny, like, and then you had Zach Wilson. Like that dude was like, I mean, I don't know. It's like you want somebody that's actually played, and we're gonna run the ball. We just need somebody to be smart enough to hit the right throws, and I don't know what
people really hit big on. You might have really done something good though. If he balls out this year,
yeah,
I got a feeling that's why I was going to wear my Falcons jersey tonight.
I appreciate you. And he plays in the Dome. He plays better in the Dome. So he goes to the Saints. He plays in the Georgia Dome. So he plays well in the Dome, and he's had some
and he
great
played
games.
well in the
he played Mercedes-Benz
college too.
Yeah.
The SC
So
championship games.
And he played with one eye and beat us with one eye. So apparently it's it's kind of a good situation. But
yeah,
I digress. But like I said, everyone's talking junk, and to everyone that's watching out there, this is a life lesson, right? In everything in life, right? You're not the same person that you were last year. Hopefully not last week. You get better at things, right? So, and I think failure breeds success. If you fail at something, you learn and you get better. So, in anything, in any job situation, in any thing that you try. I mean, heck, whenever I've DJ stuff and I've made failures, I learn from it. So I think you get better in everything that you do. So you've learned your lesson. Hey, I was terrible back there, and Miami, it's a new chapter. I can learn from my mistakes and get better. Kevin Vance, everyone gets better in life. So you can't keep nailing me.
For those who are, have any self-worth, you reflect back on, okay, what could I have done different here?
Yeah.
I want to be better at this. This is my weakness, so I want to be better at that.
Correct.
And
maybe
if you do that, you grow as a person. Yep. You grow as an employee, as a husband, whatever it is you're applying that logic to.
Yeah.
So it's just a really good philosophy. There are people out there that are that's just not them.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I know we look, I've made mention of the Falcons needing a quarterback to go into the season. Y'all have heard me say that the last several weeks.
Yeah.
And not to be facetious or anything. I was just being objective as possible. You can't rely on Michael Penix to go into the season as your starter coming off the injury.
Right.
And I don't know if the Falcons have seen enough to think that Penix is a starter right now. He might be the long-term answer.
Absolutely.
I don't know if they've seen enough for him to be the starter right now. So the Falcons had to do something at the quarterback position. And whether it works out or not, we'll see. But they had to do something. And Tua has had some success in the league as well.
Yep.
And so, we'll see. I don't knock the move. Obviously, I don't like the Falcons, but
they're a more stable organization.
My job on the show and my job when I talk in sports is to be objective as possible, whether I like the team or not. And so I don't knock the decision for them to sign Tua at all.
Yeah. Well,
I think it was a great move. I saw that and I thought, this could really work out really, really good. Especially
they needed I thought Kirk Cousins was their best quarterback last year. And that's when you saw Atlanta winning some games at the end of the season, right? So they just needed a steady hand at the end of the year there, right?
Right.
Obviously they're gonna have a couple of defensive players they got to replace, and David Onyemata and Kaden Ellis. But they needed a steady hand.
Move. Richard says seems like an iffy move.
Well, I mean, everyone's gonna have. Yeah, go ahead, Gary.
I think it's not an iffy move at all. I mean, you're getting him on the cheap. And your quarterback that is injured right now is on a rookie contract.
You got questions.
It's the ideal scenario for him.
I always say, what's the solution? If you don't like Tua, who else is out there? That's the question.
Yeah.
It takes two to tango. Like you
said,
Joe
Burrow's not available. Josh Allen is not available.
Your options, you had
Red Rocket might be.
Who?
They were talking about
Red Rocket.
That's hilarious. They're talking about Jacoby Brissett. He's on another team. You got to trade for him. Mac Jones. You got to trade for him. You don't have any draft picks. Who else is out there? Who else you going to get? Everyone needs quarterbacks, right? So what you need to do is you're going to take a flyer on a guy, like I said, that veteran minimum $1.3 million. That is insane. And everyone, Flacco. Flacco's going to cost money too. I mean, you probably could have, gave $5 million somewhere. That would have been okay. But like you said, it's just like, who's the solution? Who's the solution out there? Give me a solution. Zach Wilson. That's who else is out there.
The thing of it is,
Russell Wilson.
With Tua is he's going to a new organization. I think a better organization.
I hope so. Yep. Thank you.
And for that. I think I've got a really good feeling about it. I think he's going to do well.
I agree. Like I said, it's just my thing is like it seems iffy, but then and I appreciate it, Rich. I'm not like talking. I'm saying I've been battling Falcon fans all week because it's like everyone wants Malik Willis. Malik Willis is unproven. He's only started 6 games. You're going to give that guy that much money for 6 games? I mean, it's a gamble. Everything is a gamble, right? And hell, we should have drafted him before Desmond Ridder. I don't know the conversation, but still, it just has the foresight to. I don't know what we were thinking, but you got to give me a solution. Justin Fields is hurt. I don't know. He's kind of flamed out. Tyrod Taylor, I don't know about that. Jameis is at the Giants. They're not going to give him up. Come on, man. So
if Tua has that same mindset that we just talked about, let's see what my weaknesses are. What can I do different? I'm in a new organization. I need to prove myself. I need to get that 4 or 5 year deal. Mm-hmm. What can I do to be a better quarterback is the mindset that I'm pretty sure if he has the maturity that he's going to take. If he takes that maturity, he's got the athletic ability to perform.
I'm going to wrap it up. I'll let you do the Super Bowl predictions, Gary. I worked for a company one time. It was a great company. And they were a foreign company. And they had a different philosophy than working.
George Bland is available, according to Richard.
That's hilarious. That's funny. This guy, nice. Kenny Stabler. The company was like they're different from the United States, and they were like, if you failed as a business, they gave you more money, and I was like, what? And it was like a great company because they were just so opposite from what we had thought. Because in the United States, if you fail, they're like, oh, we're pulling your loan, and right. They're like, oh, you learned something. Here's more money. Figure it out. And it was the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life because every time I did something, he was like, you're doing fantastic. I was failing. He was like, oh, but what'd you learn? I was like, well, I learned X, Y, Z. He's like, keep going. And he would give me more. And I was like, what? It was the most insane thing I ever, I learned so much at that company. But the lesson that I would take is like, it was great because that's what I was saying earlier. Like, the more that you make mistakes and you make failures, you learn from those. You don't fail. You don't learn from success. And any successful person,
you get complacent with just 100%. Nothing but success.
Winning is like a deodorant; it covers up some stuff. But if you're like, man, how do I? You want somebody to kind of correct you to say, this is what I would do to get better. Thank you, I appreciate that. So that's my little life lesson here.
And you could see that in like when we were talking just a couple of years ago when we were talking about Kansas City and we were talking about Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. We were talking about him. He looked like it was a video game out there, and he was just 2 or 3 moves ahead of everything that was around him. Mm-hmm. And it was just incredible. Well, guess what? The team gets older, his receivers go away, and he's got new people in there. And guess what? It's not the same. So he got knocked down.
He did. Yeah.
And he got knocked down in the biggest moments.
Yeah.
And so, that's one of those lessons right there. He'll probably end up being a better overall player long term than if he just would have just had success. Thought he was successful.
Some other free agent news that I like to touch on is look at a lot of the stuff that the Jets did. It looked like the Jets went after a lot of culture guys.
They were for the older players, Rob. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Say what it is, man.
Yeah.
The Raiders.
Which is an interesting philosophy, right? Because, they still have a lot of young players on their team, and maybe they needed to bring in some culture guys to kind of teach some of these young guys, the Mario Davises of the world, the David Onyemadas of the world, right?
Yeah.
Guys have had some success, in the building. So that's going to be really interesting. And the Patriots, I thought they made two quiet, solid moves, getting Romeo Dubes, wide receiver from the Packers, and Elijah Vera Tucker, man, when he's healthy, he's one of the best offensive guards in the game. And the Patriots, as you saw in the playoffs, their offensive line struggled big time, and they struggled at the wide receiver position. And that was two solid, really, pickups. And then another quiet, good move was the Bills getting Bradley Chubb, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good
one.
And making the trade, too, whenever they got their wide receiver, too, by the way.
Absolutely. They went out and got DJ Moore. And so I thought that was a solid, quiet move, them going out and getting Bradley Chubb, and a guy that can rush the passer to help them on the defensive side of the football. So those are three teams I kind of wanted to. I know you touched on the Falcons with Tua, but I want to touch on the Jets, Patriots, and the Bills too.
And you gotta the Patriots, as much as I hate to admit this, they're actually eyeing Arnold Epicadi from the Falcons, so that would be an interesting pickup if they get him to rush the passer as well too, because he, he's still a young player. I hate the Falcons gave up on him, 2nd round pick. Damn it, Terry! But I heard that he is looking to sign with the Patriots as well too. Speaking of some good moves, guys, and you can touch on some stuff too, Gary, if you want to kind of highlight some things. Early Super Bowl predictions. This is so fresh, right? We haven't even gone through free agency yet and the drafts. I mean, it's kind of interesting. If I'm just going to go, the Seattle Seahawks are favored. I like the Rams and Seattle kind of from the NFC right now. AFC is a whole nother conversation, right? Is it the Bills? They do enough? Is it the Broncos? I hate Sean Payton. The Jaguars, are they kind of like in the cut? Is this, did they do enough? Kind of take the next step. We talked about the Texans and they having a championship defense, but is the quarterback is a challenge. So that's kind of, AFC has a little bit more questions. Ravens, I know Lamar Jackson was hurt, again, you're the Steelers. I don't know about that. You got to figure out your quarterback, Richard. But it's just kind of interesting that we're so early, right, in the game, right? So as far as that's what I was looking at initially as far as some options for Super Bowl. Obviously Seattle's favored, even though they lost Clint Kubiak. That may be tough. I like the Rams, obviously in this instance, but it could be Rams, Bills. That'd be good. I don't want to go Broncos. I'm sorry, man. But Jaguars, I'm intrigued for sure.
I'm eliminating the Jaguars, and I tell you why. They just lost Travis Etienne, their best running back.
Yeah.
And they lost probably one of their best defensive players in Devin Lloyd to Carolina. And Devin Lloyd, man, he produced a lot of turnovers on that defense, right?
Yeah.
So I thought they lost arguably their best offensive and defensive player. And and I mean, they could still be competitive, but I'm eliminating Jacksonville from, like I said, they can still be competitive, maybe still make the playoffs, but that's a lot of production with Travis Etienne and Devin Lloyd leaving the building there, right? So if I had to make a prediction, I think if I had to make a prediction based on today, I'm going Rams Bills.
Nice. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I'm going. I like the. You can say the Rams gave up a lot to get the corner from Kansas City, but that immediately improved their defense, and that's where they were weak on the back end. And then you got the Bills. We just talked about getting Bradley Chubb. They went out and got some help at the wide receiver position and DJ Moore. They did lose David Edwards to the Saints, so that's a huge blow off their offensive line, though. But if I had to make a prediction right now, I'm going Rams and Bills. And obviously, it's still early. There's still a lot that's going to take place. There's still going to be some trades. Still going to be the draft. Still free agency. Still some good players out there.
And then the whole season.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's my early prediction right now.
Okay.
And that's what I had too. But if you go by what Vegas says, their odds are Seattle and LA are tied at the top spot.
That's
and then you have Baltimore, Buffalo, Green Bay, and Kansas City as the
Green Bay's up there too. Green Bay. Okay. Yeah.
Now our teams. Let's go to our teams. Cincinnati is the 15th in line. Cowboys are 16th. New Orleans is 23rd, and Atlanta is 26th. But of our teams, I would put Atlanta right there with Cincinnati,
I appreciate that.
and I would bump Dallas and New Orleans back in the lower spots myself with what they've done so far. Now, like you said, long season. We all want the best for our team. We want us to just knock it out of the ballpark in the draft and all of those things. But it's definitely fun to look at all those sort of things. And Rob, you always do such a good job with the topics. Mm-hmm. Very rarely have I think there was one time a couple of weeks ago where I thought, how was the show? And I think I had called Richard after the show and I said, hey, what'd you think of the show? And he says, well, it was all right. It wasn't as good as some of the others, but it was good. And and that's what I had thought too. And it was more, maybe less of the topics and maybe more of what we had to say about the topics. I can't put that on you, Rob, but because I know the type of schedule you have.
Yeah, right. We always appreciate you, Rob. I was going to say,
I know that so many times you're on a plane doing this stuff.
Like I was today.
And you've got other stuff I know that you've got to do on that plane as well. So I really, really do appreciate that from the bottom.
Yeah, he's doing fantastic. Yeah, we appreciate you, Rob, what you're doing. I was going to just wrap it up. We appreciate that about, like I said, we're trying to hit the playoffs, Gary. Again, we just needed to win like one more game to get to the playoffs. And that's what I think our challenge was. So we had enough talent to actually, make the playoffs. If Raheem makes the playoffs, so it's a whole other different situation for sure. So that's why I agree with kind of like a little bump. I mean, we're not 26. I'd give us maybe objectively suck up. I'd give us like, maybe 18 or something like that. But I get it, because no one knows. Everyone's like, who's the quarterback? What the hell?
Hey, don't doubt my Saints now, man.
I'm not crapping the Saints either, man. It's like,
the way the Saints played at the end of the season with the young quarterback.
Tyler Shook, we get you, man. I mean, everyone's positive.
And right, this is the optimistic time. We haven't.
But I will say,
no hope. Go ahead.
If obviously a lot of times it's going to come down to the quarterback position, right? And if you're talking about our four teams, if Joe Burrow is healthy, that automatically keeps Cincinnati in the conversation. And the question is, can he keep him healthy? And I think that goes for the Cowboys and Dak Prescott too. And so I think when you look at the quarterback position, how those teams are complementing the quarterback position. I think you got to look at that as well.
Yeah,
but I can see why the Steelers were right in there. I think
45th. What are you talking about?
They were right down there with the rest of us. If I'm not mistaken. I apologize, Richard. I should have looked at that. But I think they were, if memory serves me right, I think they were like 16th on that whole list.
That's crazy because they don't have a quarterback either, man. Come on, man. Yeah. I mean, I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying it's like who's the quarterback? It's not going to be Aaron Rodgers. It could be, if he wants to play there, but I don't know. That's interesting to me.
Aaron Rodgers and his sidekick, his Robin is McCarthy.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about last week. Yeah, I mean, he may convince him to come back because he was there for the Green Bay years. It's nuts, man. I'm curious as well, but I appreciate you saying that too. Grandpa Moses, that's hilarious. Hey, we're gonna go kind of fire through these topics really quickly too, because we got to talk about Bam, his record night. The number one seeds projections, Rob. I got Duke, Arizona, Michigan. Is Florida in there over like a UConn or Houston? Duke, and Duke and Arizona, Duke, Arizona, and Michigan are 29-2. Oh my God!
I think those three teams are a lock to get number one seeds, no doubt about it. But I think Florida is going to get that fourth number one seed. Florida might be the hottest team in the country.
Yeah,
and they got three NBA prospects on that front line. Ruben Chinula might be one of the best defensive players in college basketball. He's a beast. And then you got Thomas Hall, who's probably going to be a first-round pick. You got Alex Condon. And they're finally getting good guard play. Bougie Flan,
Mhm.
5-star recruit,
Yeah.
and then Xavier Lee, the transfer from Harvard.
Yeah.
Florida's a team to watch. I mean, I think they can beat anybody in the country.
Wow,
And
that's gonna be good. Yeah.
yeah.
I got you. No, I'm making notes about it too, Rob, because I was looking at records like, man, these are some battle-tested squads, man.
Yeah.
29-2.
Should be a good
Arizona,
tournament. I think it's
Duke,
going to be a really good tournament.
Michigan, yeah, and like you said, I'm gonna look at a couple losses because Houston and UConn are kind of out there looking in. Obviously you had the Ohio State and Michigan States. Illinois is playing well. Virginia, they got whipped by Duke, but so everyone's got those last bottom teams got questions, but the top 4, 5, 6, those are pretty solid. I would say 100% unless they get kind of shook out. I'm going to talk about Bobby Hurley, end of the era, 11 seasons at Arizona State. Bobby Hurley's gone. I think it also kind of had the final blow whenever they suffered that historic 91-42 loss to Ohio State in the Big 12 tournament.
Iowa
That
State,
was largest margin of defeat in tournament history. So that was kind of the nail of the coffin.
Iowa State whipped them, man. Took them to the woodshed.
That was a rough, man. So that was kind of like a situation with that too. But I don't know if you want to talk about any bubble teams, Rob, or anything like that. And you can kind of, Gary, you have anything to add to that, my guy, or what?
No, I'm good with that. Go ahead, Rob.
You talk about some of these bubble teams. I think Cincinnati's there. They played some good ball down the stretch here.
Yeah.
I think their team to watch. Virginia Tech, VCU, Santa Clara, that lost to Gonzaga in the semifinals of the West Coast tournament. Indiana, I think, is a bubble team as well. So Missouri and Auburn, I think those are some of Stanford or some of the bubble teams. These teams are going to have to win a game or two in their conference tournaments if they're going to have a shot to advance to the big dance here from a bubble standpoint.
Italy beats Mexico, so they advance to play the U.S. Right now in the world. That was like crazy, right?
The USA holds on. Huh? They
hold
advance.
on, man.
Gosh, unbelievable.
Man.
How do you lose to Italy in baseball? They're not even a powerhouse.
Who's on the Italy squad?
If you lose to Japan, the Dominican Republic, I can understand that. How do you lose to Italy in baseball?
I just saw this. John Bertini,
unbelievable. I know. At first, I'm like, that didn't happen, did it? Then I'm like, oh, shit.
That is hilarious to me. Okay, I just had to make the note about that. I just saw that pop up on my little thing. The ACC tournament, I saw a quick little update. Louisville beats SMU. They survived.
I watched that game.
NC State beats Pitt. Again, we got Duke in the winner versus Florida State next. Virginia plays NC State. Miami will play Louisville. North Carolina plays the Clemson Wake Forest winner here. Like I said, what do you think about North Carolina now, Rob? I know that they've had some injuries, if you will, too. How does that kind of affect their tournament play?
Well, no, I mean, they're not a national contender at all without Caleb Wilson. And it might have even been a stretch even with Caleb Wilson, right? But with Caleb Wilson, they maybe could have went on a run. But yeah, North Carolina, I mean, they'll be lucky if they win a game or two in the NCAA tournament. Caleb Wilson, you're talking about top 5 NBA pick. And he was dynamic, and he went toe-to-toe with Cam Boozer in the one game they played against each other this year and played phenomenal. So without him, I don't think they have a shot. As a matter of fact, the ACC tournament is going to be the Duke Invitational. I think Duke runs through everybody in the tournament. I think Duke will – I don't think anybody's going to compete with them until you start to get to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, that's going to be Duke
with the Houstons, the Michigan States of the world, the Floridas of the world, Michigans of the world, the Arizonas of the world. I think that's when Duke will start to get some competition. I think they breeze to the Elite Eight.
Yeah,
and then we'll see what happens there. I think Duke's going to the Final Four, but I
agree.
I don't think they'll see a competitive match in the tournament until we get to at least the Elite Eight.
Good squad.
Well, and that might be an issue once you get up to that competition because you kind of, you don't have anybody that kind of ruffles your feathers, and then all of a sudden you got a team that, oh shit, they're 3 points ahead or whatever,
Yeah.
That sometimes that could be a problem.
You got that experience that's been going down since Mike Krzyzewski's been there, and John Shire's just the same situation that they know how to play big games, and you're going to get one or two like upsets, but they're going to be really focused, I think. Big Ten it's in United Center in Chicago. They had this kind of interesting gauntlet where you had some Pac-12 editions kind of like clashing. You had this Big Ten matchup between Washington and USC, which Washington beat USC today. You have Iowa knocking out Maryland. They're going to face Ohio State. And then Michigan, obviously, the big story is going to be Michigan and number 1, number 2, Nebraska are those heavy favorites. But UCLA is a sleeper from what I keep hearing, right?
They are. They're playing some good ball of late.
Yeah.
I still like Michigan. I think they got a lot of these great teams are winning with some good freshmen, but Michigan is doing it with some veterans. And Yaxel Lindenberg and Adebayo, you're talking about 2 bigs that's going to get drafted. Elliot Cadeau, transfer from North Carolina, running the point. He's just a steady guy running the offense. But they're doing it with a little bit more experience, as whereas Arizona and Duke. Florida's kind of doing it with experience too, but you look at Arizona and Duke, they're doing it with some impact freshmen on their team. So
who plays the Buckeyes next? Who?
I thought they're gonna host the winner. They're gonna host Iowa. Iowa tomorrow. Yeah.
Iowa's got a good point guard, man. Bennett Sturts.
Yeah, he 1,000 assists, man. Remember we talked about the first 5 point guards that had 1,000 assists in the NCAA. He
might be a top 20 NBA pick in this draft.
I like the pick. I like him. Yeah. They had the Hawks taking him too later on. He's like 6'4". I'm like, what? Granted, that's a whole nother conversation. But
so who do you have in that one, Rob?
I'm gonna go Iowa.
Yeah, I gotta watch Bennett Sturts. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Gonna watch that. We're gonna wrap this up here. I was texting you guys last night. Bam Adebayo, right? 83 points, right? The fact that he scored, he had 36 of 43. He had 43 free throw attempts. Man, his arm got to be tired. How you gonna get fouled that much, man? And then I think he put up like 100-something shots. Something crazy. They're talking about his shots. Of all the players,
you got to shoot a lot if you're gonna score 83 points.
Yeah,
this is the guy.
You gotta shoot the rock.
Yeah.
Don't hesitate.
But this is the guy that if you would have said who's going to break Kobe's record, this is not the guy that I thought was going to break his record.
No.
I would have thought, hell,
you could name
Giannis,
20 NBA players, and he might not be on that list.
I'm going to say he's not a great player, but I'm like, this is the guy.
Right.
Bam?
And he's improved his game. At one point he was just a, low post guy, good defender, shot blocker, rebounder, but now Bam can step out and hit 3-pointers, which he couldn't do 2, 3, 4 years ago in the league, right?
Yeah,
so he has improved his game. But to your point, I still would have never thought he would score 83 points in the game. Maybe Luka, maybe Donovan.
Yeah.
One of those kind of players,
right?
That's used to scoring the rock, right? So would never thought that. And I recorded a clip early today, and I said, not Larry Bird, not Magic Johnson, not Kobe, not Jordan, not LeBron. Bam Adebayo is the second all-time highest scoring game in NBA history.
Yeah. You see you're rocking the Miami Heat stuff too, Rob. And
in honor of Bam, I had to represent.
I would have given you I would have picked even freaking Tyler Hero to score 83 over Bam.
Why is that a record? Why is that? Why is 83 a record?
It's the second highest scoring game in NBA history.
Because you had Wilt Chamberlain was number 1 with 100.
So that's what I'm saying.
Kobe was 81.
The record, the one that scores the most.
Yeah. Well, no, it didn't say it's the. I guess it's not a record, but it's saying it's the second highest in NBA history.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I'm not trying to
probably say it's the highest in modern NBA history.
Yeah. And I'm not taking anything away from it, right? Because when I didn't see anything until I saw highlights, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
83 points.
And I was watching the Spurs and the Celtics last night on, and then they switched to the end of the Miami Heat game. So, they were wondering if he was going to pass Kobe in '81, and sure enough, he did.
I'm going to do a quick note, Richard. South Carolina is the undisputed number 1. So for women, so I know you said it starts and ends with UConn, but South Carolina has something to say about that too, Richard. Just a little.
Well, South Carolina just lost to Texas this past weekend.
Dang
They got
it!
beat pretty bad. Yeah, but I tell you, the team to watch with UConn is UCLA.
UCLA, UConn, Iowa, and those are the squads that South Carolina, Iowa, UCLA,
Well,
UConn, and UCLA. Yeah, go
The
ahead.
top 5 teams in women's college basketball: UConn, UCLA. I think you got to put Texas 3 now because they
Texas,
split
yeah.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
I have South Carolina 4, and I have LSU 5. So those are the top 5. But UCLA is a team you got to watch. Big Lauren Betts, 6'7". They've won like 24, 25 games in a row. UCLA's got 3 players that I have going in the first round of the WNBA draft. Kiki Rice running the point. So to me, they're the team that possibly can challenge UConn. And UConn's schedule, to what Gary just said, UConn's schedule has not been that great. Even though they are the defending champs, UCLA, South Carolina, Texas, and LSU have all played a much tougher schedule this year. So that's the one thing that you might can get UConn on in the tournament was when they play against a good team, it's going to be like, wow, we haven't played against a team this good in a long time. We got to step it up. So I think that's the one thing you have to be concerned about if you're UConn. But I think they probably are still a favorite, though.
Hey, Rob, I got a question for you on football on Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you have? Who are your picks on winning the Big 12?
I got Texas Tech is still a favorite, right? And in this nil environment, Texas Tech has got a lot of oil money. They got a lot of money to spend on players. Now, what's crazy, prior to nil,
do they still have oil money, Rob? I'm just asking for a friend.
Well, we'll see.
Different topic, different podcast.
Yes, exactly.
Oil money, the oil money still flowing. I'm just saying.
I don't know. You got a good point there.
Anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch.
But Texas Tech is spending a lot of money on players, and prior to this nil environment, Texas Tech wouldn't be getting some of the players that they're getting today, they got Brendan Sorsby at the quarterback position. And they've also one of the top teams in the transfer portal. So to me, I would have to give them the slight edge
over BYU.
To the season. I think BYU with Bo Bearsmere, who had a really good year at the freshman at the quarterback position,
and that running back, that Martin.
Yeah. Watch Houston too with Casey Wegman, transfer from Texas A&M at the quarterback position.
Yep.
And then my last team, I think, would be a sleeper is Arizona. Noah Fafita. He's a short guy. He's only like 5'10", 5'11", but he's a really good college quarterback.
In that conference, though, I really think that Texas Tech and BYU are just kind of 1A, 1B.
Yeah, and same thing with BYU. In the nil environment, BYU's got a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already signed another top 5 high school basketball recruit. And they have AJ DeBanza, who I think is going to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft.
I agree.
BYU is paying him $7 million, a New Jersey kid, to go to BYU, and they're paying him $7 million, right?
I'd be loving me some BYU.
Yeah,
that's insane to me. That's insane to me, man. Casey Weigman, he was from Texas A&M because obviously Marcel Reed's been killing it, right? So where did he go again, Rob? Where did you say he's
Houston? He's with Houston. He was a 5-star recruit out of high school.
Yeah. Marcel Reed just kind of held on that job. He kind of left at that.
And where do you have Utah in the mix?
Utah, I have them kind of like slightly behind those teams. Obviously, they lost their coach.
You also have them behind Houston, Arizona?
Yeah, I think my top 4 is Texas Tech, BYU, Houston, and Arizona. So Utah's in that next group.
There it is.
I think Utah and Kansas State. Kansas State's got Avery Johnson back at the quarterback position. So, they'll be in that middle of the pack, 5, 6, 7 range.
There you go. All right, well, let's wrap this up. Any last things you guys want to say before we get ready to wrap another great edition of Talking Sports with the 12th Man on this Wednesday, March 11th? Man, time is flying, guys.
No, I'm good. I'm
I
good.
think we had all the topics. Matt Patricia, highest paid assistant. He signed that deal. I
Yep.
know that's for JQ, $3.75 million.
Man, that's a lot of money for an assistant.
Man, that's one of the most head coaches, man. He's getting that highest paid assistant, man. So they
Yeah.
try to keep him around, man. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him. That was a JQ topic for sure, man. It looks
Yep.
like I got the NHL. I got the Rangers, Stars, Panthers, Avalanche, and Canucks. That's what I've got for the NHL. That may be another thing too. But
Yeah,
Patricia,
Avalanche. The Avalanche still number one, but I tell you, a team that's on a rise, man, and they were near the bottom of their division, and now leading their division is the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, I saw the Sabres too.
So they've won 8 in a row. They are really hot. They got 2 good goalies on their team. They've made some moves at the trading deadline too. So watch the Sabres.
Would you put them in the top 5 right now?
Sabres? Oh yeah.
Where would you put them?
I have them at number 3 right now.
Number 3? Okay.
I have them behind the Avalanche and the Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
Where you got Tampa?
Uh-oh.
They're not in the top 5. Tampa's in a slump right now, and Buffalo surpassed them before the All-Star break, or before the Olympic break, I should call it. Tampa was rolling,
Yeah.
and now since the Olympic break, they've really hit a slump. And I'm a Tampa fan. Well, I'm not. Yeah, I'm a Tampa fan in hockey, not in football.
No, we're just going to leave it at you're the Tampa fan. Copy that.
It's hilarious.
You wanted to make that perfectly clear, didn't
Tampa
you?
Bay Lightning, Tampa Bay Lightning, and Las Vegas Golden Knights. Those are my teams.
Let's go.
I went to a Golden Knights game on Friday night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You guys got to stay out of that Cheesecake Factory, Rob.
Huh?
You guys got to stay out of that Cheesecake Factory.
Oh
Otherwise you're gonna have to start buying stock. And
He got to buy stock in asparagus companies, man. Asparagus producing countries. That's what he needs to do, man. Appreciate
you're
that.
in that Cheesecake Factory a lot.
Yeah.
Once a month. Mm-hmm.
Seems like more, I guess. It seems like more than that.
No, we go to a lot of other places too, but that's
What a
our
great
go
place
to
for
when we want
food.
cheesecake. Cheesecake is Gina's favorite dessert, so we got to hit it up occasionally.
Love some cheesecake, man. So shout out to Gina. We have that too, man. So a lot of love, man.
Asparagus cheesecake. That's a good idea, Richard.
Oh, that is a terrible idea.
Richard.
Do not encourage him.
Keep smoking your stogies and drinking your beer, Richard, and let's leave the cheesecake and asparagus out of it.
Like I said, we won't be back next week. Rob's going to be on vacation, guys, so we'll miss you guys next week. So we get a week off, if you will. Enjoy that, and but we'll be back the following week. So Rob,
Yeah, we're going to be gone too. We're taking off in our RV.
Yeah, we're going to take
Nice.
Oh, okay, good stuff.
Be safe. Be safe.
We're gonna go
We'll
down.
be back in 2 weeks. We'll be right on time for the Sweet 16 of the March Madness.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
So we'll be right in time for that. And, of course, updates on NFL free agency, updates on the mock drafts. We'll be down to the stretch run of the NBA and a kickoff of the Major League Baseball season, too. So we'll have a lot to cover in 2 weeks.
Good stuff. Rob, will you still be able to make will you able to do the NCAA March Madness bracket stuff? Will you have time for that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
if you're going to be, I don't want to get you in trouble or anything like that because you got to
No.
get it too. So, okay.
We're going to kick that started. Maybe Gary will join us this year.
We'll see. I got a guy at my company, man.
Oh, I might this year. Okay, I might.
I got a guy at my company that he's been doing this at least 20 years.
What's a buy-in for that? You guys, what, $1,000 or what is it?
No, we just do it for fun, man.
We do it for fun. But I do have a guy. I got a guy that
Oh,
I've
good.
for like
Yeah,
20
I'm in.
years. There's a guy that I know. It's like $20 to buy in per bracket, and there's probably like a good 50, 60, maybe like 100 people. The payout is like 6,000, something crazy. Because I know, like, if you want to get invited out, let me know. But you got to put $20 in for that.
Well, it's always
But
some.
$20 not bad.
It's
I'm saying,
always some lady that. This is my
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
It's always some lady that only picks teams by the colors or something.
Yeah,
That wins the whole thing or whatever.
Yeah.
agreed.
I've seen that so many times. It's like,
It's,
well, how
it's
did you?
insane.
Oh, Richard wants to know if he can play.
Yeah,
For what?
absolutely.
Yeah, we'll get you
I
in.
think
Richard
we
will
have
let
your
you play
email,
with-
right, Richard?
Richard will let you play with our ball.
Richard,
Oh,
I think
most
we have your
definitely.
email, right?
Yeah, I think we'll get it. Yeah, you can play with us. Absolutely, Richard. Yeah, we'll get
Yeah,
you in
that'd
there.
be fun.
Yeah.
But now with this Neal environment, you wonder how many small schools can go all the way to the Final Four. Remember how we started having the run where every year we have like a small school make it?
Yeah,
But if you notice in the last couple of years, it's all been like 1 and 2 seeds because what's happening now is these big schools, if a guy is starring in the small schools, they go and sign him and bring him to a big school, right?
Yeah.
So you wonder. In the past, it was always like to Gary's point, somebody will win it just because they picked the schools for
Right.
the colors they like.
Right.
And then the so-called experts are the ones who's getting all the picks wrong. But you wonder now in this Neal environment how many upsets. I mean, it's still going to be some upsets, right?
Right.
But
But
you
it's not
wonder
going to
if
be
it's gonna
upsets in the Sweet 16, Elite 8,
Yep.
yeah,
Final
Yeah.
Four.
yeah.
It's not
you're-
going to be earlier than that. Maybe one
Yeah.
or two upsets.
What
Yeah.
I would say, I think it's interesting because also, Rob, to the nature of the game, it's like, like I said, the Benson Sturts, he's the one point guard that's been there for like 4 years, right? It's hard to
Yeah.
have teams that stay together for 4 years. Those are the teams, the experienced teams that can pose a problem that, those are the teams that, okay, but still you have to have, got to have a dominant player. You have to have a great player,
Mhm.
if you will. But
Yeah.
it's just tougher, I would say now. That's kind of what I think about, Davidson back in the day, you had babyface assassin Steph Curry. But it's just rare, man, to have unless you have just experienced guys. I mean, if you're following the Indiana football model to basketball, Houston last year, they were all 25 years old. They were older players, right? They were like whipping folks, so that's what you kind of see. Either you got this young, upstart, talented team right at gym, where you got these older, experienced players that know how to play together,
This might be Kelvin Sampson's most talented team at Houston, but
that's crazy.
it
Bigger than Phi
might
Sigma
be his
Gamma?
most
Better
talented
than
team,
Phi
but I'm not
Sigma
sure if
Gamma?
they're as good as last
Nah,
year.
come on, Rob.
Bigger than Phi Sigma, just Slamma Jamma? Come on, man.
No, I said Kelvin Sampson's most
Oh,
talented.
Kevin. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
I said this. I think this is Kelvin Sampson's most talented team, but I don't know chemistry-wise if they're as good as last year's team, even though this year's team is more talented. If that makes sense. Because he's got 3 or 4 guys on that team who's going to get drafted. Kingston Fleming's probably going to be a top 5, top 6 pick.
Yeah.
Off of that team, but I just don't know if they have the same chemistry as they had last year. They went all the way to the final and lost to Florida by 1 point in that championship game.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. They're talented enough, and I think 2 sleepers are Kansas and BYU. And,
BYU.
And the reason why I say they're sleepers, if Darren Peterson gets going in Kansas, and if AJ DeBonsa gets going with BYU, I don't know if they have the star personnel around them. But if those two players individually get hot, they're the top 2 picks in the NBA draft. Or maybe Boozer from Duke as well, right? Top 3 players. But if DeBonsa and Darren Peterson get going, I think they could possibly carry those 2 teams on a sleeper run.
I like AJ DeBonsa. I like him, man. I like him a lot.
40 points last night.
Yeah, I like him a lot, man.
Yeah.
So, anyway, gentlemen, have a great rest of your night. Again, everyone, we're taking a week off. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We got a lot of things to hit. Like you said, March Madness, baseball season starting, wrapping up NFL free agency. We'll get really prepared for the draft because we'll have the dust will kind of settle, right? And maybe some smaller moves will happen for a couple of our teams. And we'll get ready again for the mock draft for the NFL coming up in April for sure. And,
but we'll text each other back and forth, and so it won't be so lonely without me, guys. Don't worry about it.
Thank you, Gary. For
Don't
keeping
text
us.
and drive, Gary.
I'm not driving. I'm gonna be maybe on the passenger seat like this. Sorry, Arnetta, I'm retired. Just another 400 miles, dear.
Arnetta doesn't
Gary,
drive,
you know
does
where
she?
your bread is butter.
She doesn't drive, does she? Arnetta doesn't
You
drive, does she?
and you do too, right?
Exactly. So I know you're gonna be the one driving. You know where your bread is butter.
I'll be driving. I'll be driving.
All right, gentlemen. Have a great. Let's wrap this up, gentlemen. Have a great rest of your evening, guys. So the next time we'll see you guys next week or 2 weeks.
Hey, a big hug to your families, though, right? Get
Yep.
off this tomorrow.
Likewise.
Give your wives a hug and appreciate them. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Good advice, everyone. Love on your families. Don't take it for granted.
Absolutely.
Especially these times. All right, gentlemen. Be good.
All right. Have a good one.
Night.
Good night, everyone.